Chandler Adams here with Adams Academy, presented to you by Across the Board. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you could hit that subscribe button, I would appreciate it so much. My goal with this show is to help you further understand future NBA draft prospects and even current NBA players. That will probably be more on a request basis. You ask me, hey, can you break down so and so on this team? And I'll break them down, put it up on here, and I'll have a playlist just for those players, and then a playlist just for the draft. The first player I want to break down is LaMelo Ball. Yes, that 14-year-old kid that went across America, and so many people had hatred for him. I watched six of his games from the NBL this past year. He's extremely talented. He's the number one prospect. He is the best player in this year's NBA draft, and I don't think it's that close, quite frankly. I think James Wiseman is up there for sure, but positional value, James Wiseman's a center. He moves like a guard, but he is a 7'1 center. LaMelo Ball is a 6'7", 18-year-old point guard through three guy. Is whatever you're gonna need. He's got insane raw passing ability, rebounding instincts like you've never seen, being able to tap it out to players. You don't know how he saw them. His ability to dribble through defenders. He has a scoring knack. He has this thing. You'll see it. I don't think anybody knows he has it. I don't know anybody that has this ability, and it'll translate beautifully in today's NBA. I'm really excited for you guys to all see that. And contrary to the popular belief, he can defend. The question is, when will he want to defend? He's not always locked in, especially if his team's down big, game's over. He's absolutely abysmal in defense. But there were multiple games where it was a close game, and he was guarding the best defender, and he wasn't letting him score. He can guard the 1 through 3 when he wants to, and he will shut them down. We've got some clip on that. There's not a lot of negatives to his game. Outside of the defense not always wanting to be locked in, and the fact that he likes to shoot the ball a lot, which can be reverted, but also he's talented. So a lot of positives to love about LaMelo. I don't have a player comparison for him right now. He looks like a kid playing on the park. That's my best comparison. Like, he just looks like he's playing in the backyard. And then at the very end of the video, after we break him down, I'll kind of say where a couple spots I think would be the best landing for him in this draft. But let's dive in. The first part of LaMelo's game that we are going to break down is his passing, specifically his hit-ahead passing in the fast break transition, and then we will break down his half-court situational ball movement and stuff like that. This first play right here is just going to be, there's not much to break down other than he just has the guts to go out there, 18 years old, just in the league, and just throw it. I mean, right over 4 defenders. A pass that's really risky. A lot of players get chewed out. He has the confidence in himself to make it. It's like he's playing in the backyard. And right here, it's hard to tell, but watching this live and the replay that they showed, I couldn't get the replay angle from down here in the corner. LaMelo was staring down this guy. He's a 45% three-point shooter. We're going to keep coming back to that. This guy's going to be very integral in breaking down LaMelo's game because his awareness to know where that shooter is at all times. So he was staring down this shooter. This guy on defense had to stay out on him just long enough so LaMelo could throw his center open for the basket. I don't think he ends up scoring the tip-in dunk here, but it's stuff like that, little look-offs. It's going to come up a lot in these next couple plays for LaMelo. And then this one, just a perfect bullet pass right over the entire team. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this guy's turned his head, so he doesn't count. But just his ability to throw the ball ahead and, make a good play out of it. His amount of turnovers doing that are so low that there's almost no risk involved in doing this. Then this one, baseball pass through 3 guys, and he ends up throwing it, to the 45% three-point shooter again. And then this guy he can shoot the three, he can drive, he can throw an oop. He ends up guy had a crazy closeout. He ends up driving to the hole. Great awareness by LaMelo Ball. His ability to see the court and start the drive, start the possession. Good football term there. Start the possession earlier than most players would be able to is so incredible. It's gonna make him playing with him in the NBA so likable. Guys are gonna love to play with him, and that's a thing that you might hear a lot with draft prospects. But with LaMelo, it's absolutely true. All of his teammates love playing with him. Then here, shows off two things. One, his ability to split the defender, and then two, and also look at the amount of look at the eyes on LaMelo. All attention is on him. All five guys have all their attention on him, which is normal. But these three guys don't even. This guy can make a back cut. This guy can move over here. This guy can move up here. They don't have any clue where their men are, but he ends up making a beautiful pass behind the back to his rolling center. And I'm gonna play that again at full speed for you guys so you can actually enjoy it. No writing. Look at that. Oh my gosh, you just can't teach it. You cannot teach that. It's natural. And then this play, it's really just cooler than it is a great play. He doesn't need to look away, but the ability to, switch how you're passing it underhand so the ball's coming up so he can catch it and stay in motion to shoot the layup instead of throwing it overhand. Guy's going to catch it with a downward motion, then he's going to have to bring the ball back up. It's little things like that, little underhand pass, gets the upward motion going. It's just little things like that you don't notice when you're watching the game live. You rewatch it and you realize how special he is doing little things like that. Then right here, there's a post-game interview asking, why didn't you just try to dunk that on him? Because he had a wide open path. He had one guy to dunk it on. That guy kind of turned his head anyway, not wanting to get in on it. This guy is the 45% shooter. This guy is like a 39% shooter, 40% shooter. Don't remember, to be honest. He said, we had a chance with our two best shooters on this side of the floor to hit a three. And if the golden rule of basketball, as he was saying all this, said, if you shoot it from this side, obviously the saying is it's either going in or the rebound's going to end up on this side. And he realized that they had 1, 2, 3 players on this side. And this is LaMelo's favorite spot to rebound from. We have a couple clips later I'll show you. But so his reasoning was, I knew where the rest of our team was. I knew where the ball would go off. And I knew what shooters we had in that corner. I mean, that's just amazing. And he was right. He ends up getting a three out of it. Adding an extra point is pretty small at the time. But adding that up over a game, over a season, over a career, huge difference. An absolute huge game changer. Then here, his ability to get around the pick, get down the lane hard, but still have the control to get up there, get it to his center. Most players can do that, but it's cool to see it from an 18-year-old. It's so natural. The one hand, it's just so smooth. And this is a death wish for a guard, getting a screen in the corner. In the NBA, you really hope that this defender right here can close that gap a little bit, and this guy hard hedges. This guy slides over, this guy slides down, this guy slides down. That's a sure stop almost all the time. But partially on bad defense, partially on LaMelo being as talented as he is, and most people not being able to do this, he gets around the defender, then, that's a window that most people cannot make the pass through. But he makes it behind the back pass, and it's absolutely incredible. I'll let you watch it in full speed. Just crazy, his ability. Then here, other than it being an awesome pass, and yes, it does end up getting completed, here's that 45% three-point shooter again. Look at his eyes, looking right at him, And you can't be down in the paint if you got a 45% three-point shooter right here. You just can't do that. So gets him out of the paint 1 second longer, and then that allows for this guy to get right to the hole, not allowing him to go over there, block, take a charge, do whatever it is that he would have done. I don't have a scouting report on what kind of defender he is. And then it also being a beautiful pass. Look at that. Look at that full speed. I couldn't believe it when I watched it. This is one of the first games I watched because RJ Hampton right here ended up playing too. He'll be a top 15 pick in the draft. But his ability to look off that defender 1 more second, allow for that, free run to the rim. It's just something that I sound like a broken record, and I know that's a cliche term, but he makes the game easier for others. He does these small, minor details that you cannot teach. They absolutely cannot be taught. He has it. Not everyone has it. And there's another one. Beautiful pass. This is going to be the last pass for now. Actually, I think the next one's a pass too. He ends up getting it back. Scoring. Always there. So he splits the defender. This is a pass, but I wanted to highlight splitting the defender. I think there's 2 of these. He's 6'7". Last year he was 6 foot, basically 6 foot. So he grew 7 inches. Still this agile, still this coordinated, still this good with the ball. Watch him keep his head up, split the defenders, keep an arm on the defender, know where everyone is on the court, and find his center running to the rim. If you get a rim runner in the NBA and you can feed him, and they can score 15-ish points a game on that, your chances of winning go up tremendously. Look at this. Right in stride. Never having to slow down. Beautiful play. And right here, this is beautiful. And the ability to finish. Gets through there. He sees the heavy feet. Guy gets sloppy, reaches in. Not a very good defender. Gets to the rim. Probably could dish it out. This guy needs to go to the corner, which, you're playing with shooters like Danny Green or any of these spot up guys. They will get to the corner for you, get you an easy layup. But he gets there, finishes with the left hand nicely, a real strong play. Just beautiful play by LaMelo. And here's that scoring ability. You guys saw a sneak peek of it right there that I was talking about. His ability to shoot floaters. I've never seen anything like this. I'll play it for you. Watch where he pulls up from. All right, so you're probably thinking, that's a bad shot. He needs to set his feet, shoot a normal jump shot. That's what I thought too. But just 5 minutes later in the game, this is what he does. And this was the second game I watched, and the one against the New Zealand Breakers. He didn't do this very much. But then the more games I watched, he pulls floaters from everywhere, which does come to hurt him. Sometimes, but when he can get it off, it's deadly. One, because he's 6'7" and he's very long. He's long wingspan. 2, the NBA is a pick and roll game now. So when you're evaluating a prospect for the NBA, you got to go what it is right now. The game might change in 10 years. It's changed in the past 10 years. Right now, it's pick and roll, ball handler dominant. Can you shoot a 3? Like those are the 2 things. Can you handle the ball in the pick and roll? Can you shoot a 3? And then I guess the third, can you set a screen and rim run or pop? And so he can shoot the 3. He had a bad shooting percentage. That is not indicative of his shot, though. Like, he has a good shot. He has good mechanics. He just put up really bad shots. And the three-point line at 18 years old, being that far back, that adjusting that quick, that's a story for another time. So this floater in the pick and roll game in the NBA could be absolutely lethal, and that's something that when you're scouting you take into account. Like, he does all this off the pick and roll, especially that floater, which you don't see in the NBA, so guys can't prepare for it, and really. But now a little bit of rebounding. This isn't like a superb play per se, but it's just really cool. It shows off his athleticism and his ability to go rebound. The game's over. Look at the score. Game's over. Still decides, I'm going to go get that ball. I'm going to dunk it. It shows off a lot of just very cool. Very cool to see. And now is where it gets interesting. As you can see, he does not ever look at this guy out here. Never looks at him once. Still gets out. He's the one that made the pass out to this guy. Gets in there. Knows if he rebounds it, he's got 4 guys all over him. 2 guys are going to try to block him. 2 guys are going to try to rip it away. So he just tips it out to him. Just perfect tip out. Same play right there. Didn't look at him. Gets it out to his 45% 3-point shooter. Doesn't get it, but he showed the ability. He shows the ability to just play naturally. He is a ball of clay. If you're an NBA GM, you're Patrick Swayze on Ghost. He's a ball of clay. I hate to be cheesy. That's like the best comparison I can do off the top of my head. I should probably start writing scripts down for this so I don't sound like a jackass like that. But that's what he's like, and it's so intriguing as a scout, an NBA GM, to have a guy with all this natural ability who doesn't play the conventional way, that you can mold somewhat into what you want him to be and also be his own just different kind of player. And then right here at Chino Hills, he got a lot of criticism for the way he played, but it taught him how to play in the full court, especially press game. And here he is, this guy had been doing it all game. It's the second quarter now, almost the end. He'd been getting the rebound, not dribbling, getting to his guard before he did anything. He was afraid to move, afraid to dribble the ball. LaMelo figured that out, jumped the passing lane, got an easy foul, extra possession. He does the same thing here. This guy had been taking 1 or 2 or 3 dribbles, getting to as far as the foul line, but then getting rid of it right away to his guard. So LaMelo sits there, waits, jumps it. It's risky, but he's able to do it because of his instinct and his length, and he gets there. And right here, you can see he will get in a defensive stance, and he can be locked in, especially at the beginning of the game. But he sees this guy running free right here. If he doesn't step over, that's a good chance of a floater, a dunk, a pass, anything, any sort of thing. He gets in there, he mucks it up. You look at the NBA, if that's Rudy Gobert, if that's whoever, that's almost a surefire score. These guys are shooting 65%, and his ability to get in there with the bigs and muck it up is nice to see. Now you see him on ball defense. This is something that is a very wrong connotation on LaMelo Ball, that he cannot play defense. But this guy has 60 pounds on him. He's a good player in the NBL. And watch how LaMelo handles him. D's him up, stops him. And preface this with, when Lonzo Ball looked like LaMelo did, he wasn't the defender he is. Now that Lonzo's grown into his body and he's not an 18-year-old kid anymore, he's one of the best defenders in the NBA. That's something to remember when you're looking at LaMelo too. But just his ability to get around a defender, that's something that, it's only high school basketball, but, we would work 30 minutes a day on stuff like this in the post, trying to get open in the post, but more trying to defend the post. And it's something that you really either have or you don't. And to have it on some guy that's 60 plus pounds more than you, it's incredible. If you've ever played basketball at any level in the post, you know that what you just saw was incredibly hard. Here's a mix of his on-ball and off-ball defense. They've been running this little handoff, post turns his butt, fake pick all game. LaMelo was tired of it. He jumps it, gets in there, uses the rim nicely so he doesn't get blocked. He goes to the right side. He gets swatted off the backboard into the next planet. Here he is missing a shot. You can see his body language right there. Looks like he wants to complain, get the foul. Doesn't get it. He remembers fourth quarter, it's late, we got to put this game away. I'm going to try to steal the ball. It's risky. He does it. I don't know how many fouls he had at this point. That might have been a bad play if he had 3 or 4, but you know what? He gets the steal. Here's another one. Post defense. Another guy's way bigger than him. Mucks it up. Get out in the transition. Open 3 for a 40% 3-point shooter, and they score. That's all the tape I have. If you want more, feel free to, contact me. If you want a more detailed one on LaMelo Ball, let me know. But this is what I kind of plan to do with Adams Academy is get film out there, show things that are beyond the stats, really break down and evaluate what they are doing on the court that makes them that special or doesn't make them as special as some people are saying. And LaMelo Ball, do not be surprised if he's number 1 overall pick. I have him. I have 7 players evaluated fully. And I mean, I've watched 4 or 5 to 6 games or more. I've listened to interviews of them talking. I've listened to interviews of other people talking about them. Everything. Fully done. He is number 1 by a pretty wide margin. James Wiseman is another one that's up there, but the potential of that cheesy Clay and Patrick Swayze comment I made, that is what LaMelo is. He's a ball of clay that he could his ceiling is so tremendously high, and his floor is honestly probably a little bit higher than what Lonzo's playing at right now. So you pick him, you're still getting a starting caliber point guard, and there's a very good chance he turns out to be a superstar in the league. So next, whoever you want to see next on this, put it in the comments down below. Give a like and subscribe. Appreciate it.